So now that I did the video on the one thing that means we're not going to recession, non-farm payrolls, which was up higher than they thought, let's go through the things that we prove that we are going to recession. Production is down, new orders are down, manufacturing is down, shipping is down, retail spending, people are not spending as much money, housing supply is up 25%, people aren't buying, the personal savings rate is lowest it's ever been, consumer sentiment index, which is coming out in a week or so, is going to be big. It's the lowest it's been since a very long time. Okay, that's what people think. Consumer credit, the highest. People are borrowing money, the highest it is. New housing starts, not happening. Building permits, which go with housing starts, declining. Oil price has peaked and rolled over, which means it's up and it's coming down. Basically, we're starting heading into a recession. The yield curve inverted, which means the short-term yields are higher than the long-term yields, which is usually a sign of a recession. The dollar is at the highest it's been in a very, very long time. Again, another sign of a recession. The stock market crashing like crazy. Even though it keeps going up, it's going down. This is like a dead cat bounce. So just because we had good jobs doesn't mean we're not going to a recession. We don't have a lot of numbers coming out Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday, a big one is coming out. Wednesday morning, inflation numbers are coming out. The last month was 8.6% from last year. They're expecting 8.8, so it's going back up again. Last month was a little down, now it's going up. That's a big number coming out. The next one is on the 15th, is the consumer sentiment. That's going to tell what everyone thinks is going to happen. That's a really good indicator of whether we're going into a recession or not. And that's going to impact how much the Federal Reserve jacks it up. They're going to do 75 basis points in July. But what happens is if they think we're going to a recession, like a real one, like some people think we already are in one, but until the numbers show up, we don't know. So the number that tells us that we're actually in a recession right now, on July 28th, the GDP growth rate is coming out. At, I think it's like 8 in the morning, whatever it is. When that comes out, that's going to tell us whether we have 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. I don't like strict numbers like that, but there's a lot of shit going on that shows that we're in a recession or going to be into one. We don't have proof yet, but a lot of the numbers that I rattled off are all signs of a recession. So it's just one thing. It's everything together. It's not just the GDP. It's everything. So again, watch this Wednesday for inflation. Watch the 15th for the Michigan consumer sentiment. And then at the end of the month on the 28th, we're worried about the GDP growth rate. We want to know what that's going to be. If you like what I'm doing, check me out on YouTube, Capital Advantage Tutoring, or stay here with me.